Well, we've been wandering the halls of the EASD and we came across someone who is regarded by many as a bit of a legend here, and that's Viktor Jörgens. Now, Viktor was scientific director of the EASD for more than 25 years, I think 28 years. 28 years is an extraordinary feat. But you've come back because, of course, you're a diabetologist. So what do you think of your baby?
Number one is that this baby was growing nicely and is getting stronger and stronger, and I'm delighted now as a delegate to be able to ask critical questions in the sessions if I'm feeling 40 years younger, like in the years when I attended EASD as a delegate in the 80s.
Can I just say, be very afraid if you've got Viktor Jörgens asking searching questions in your session. But what has particularly attracted your attention?
It's over 1,000 presentations, but actually I mentioned two. One is, for a clinical diabetologist, a very nice little study, which is presented here, to measure the temperature of insulin vials in the patient's daily life. And these nice ladies found that insulin in the fridge is sometimes too cold, below zero, and it should be not below 4. That means they did, with not much money, in a very relevant study, which is interesting to know by all the patients, to check the temperature of their fridge, because the insulin doesn't like at all to get frozen, as most of proteins. And this is amazing. This paper will probably come out in a very good journal, and is a very simple, straightforward, clinically relevant research. And that is great in EASD, that you have so clinically interesting, straightforward things. And the other presentation I would like to mention was the brilliant camilogology lecture by Peter Navroth from Germany, who is one of those who thinks different, and who told us that we have to do more research to look for the pathogenesis of complications, and not only to look at glucose, because there's a lot happening in the pathogenesis of complications which have nothing to do with glucose. And this research, which is getting more and more interesting, may open ways one day to treat or to improve complications of diabetes in a very relevant way. And second is, he's a researcher and clinician. As a clinician, he told us that we should not be so enthusiastic about all the new drugs we have, because when you look at the numbers needed to treat and the absolute risk reduction, which is sometimes 1.6, 1.7%, you need 60 people to be treated over a certain time, and you cannot be sure if you are the one in the 60 who has a benefit, what everybody wants. But it's 59 who just take the pill, get the side effects, and don't have any effect. And
that's a very expensive pill to be taking as well, often.
It's not a question of price. It's a question to judge interventions in a correct way and to report real numbers and not relative risk reduction numbers, which are simply scientifically useless. And whenever I see PowerPoints or advertising with these numbers reducing cardiovascular effects by 50%, then this...
Your blood boils and you're ready to have a fight.
It's not good for hypertension, yes.
And it's very nice to hear you talking about that fridge study, because actually there's lots of things that can be done that aren't necessarily the high science and the genomics and all those other kind of things. There are some really basic things that we still don't know, from the mundane like fridge temperatures, but also I'm guessing actually that You know, we're so obsessed, aren't we, by good control that we forget that sometimes even with people who do have good control go on to have serious complications.
This is actually the question of pathogenesis of complications is a whole world of research to be done. But there are, you say high-level science. For me, clinical, simple, straightforward clinical research is top science because it's so relevant for the people. There is another paper which is very nice from Israel. They simply started to, in insulin treatment, to drop the snacks. Whoever in medical school is taught about insulin treatment, people teach that you have to eat a snack before breakfast and lunch with some carbohydrates. And what they did in obese insulin-treated patients in the prospective controlled trial, they dropped the snacks. And the metabolic control got better and people lost weight. That means a paradigm we are teaching since decades, in nearly 100 years after insulin and many years after long-acting insulin, somebody finally had the idea, is this paradigm true? And this will start a big discussion about nutrition in diabetes. There are many things to discover there if you simply question the textbooks. And that's great in EASD, that people like that can pop up and tell us you have to think different.
Fantastic. So if you're an early career academic, there is a real word of wisdom for you. Question the textbooks, and actually that could be the start of a terrific academic career for you.
And then write the textbook or yourself.
And then write the textbook yourself. And finally, just one word, drop the snacks. Very good. Thank you so much. And you can see all of those presentations that Viktor mentioned on EASD.org.